Welcome back to the Seattle vicinity for the 30th Norwescon. You guys, how often have you come to Norwescon, Stan?
I've been once before, 22 years ago, and I plan to come every 22 years. And
do you remember anything about that one 22 years ago?
Oh, I have it well remembered, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I missed the dance on Saturday night that happened 22 years ago, and I also took second place in the Philip K. Dick Award. I got the special citation, as they now call it. And
what was your paperback original?
It was The Wild Shore, and as I said at the time, if for any reason during the coming year the winner cannot fulfill his duties, that I was ready to step in.
And you've been coming for a long time in many categories.
About 13 years, I think, off and on.
Not just proselytizing for fantasy and science fiction and trying to grab up all those hot young talents, but also to present a special award that is associated with Norwescon. And what is that?
It is indeed the Philip K. Dick Award.
Very cool. Do you know Dick?
I don't know Dick. I did not know Dick. Someday I hope to.
Someday we will understand. Right? But the Philip K. Dick Award is special for those who aren't indoctrinated because it does what?
It celebrates the paperback original science fiction novel, which was, of course, where poor Philip K. Dick labored for so many years to so little acclaim at the time.
16 novels in 5 years. Some of them have got to be paperback originals at that rate.
Most of them were.
Yeah.
And we had the ceremony last night, and it went... In fact, I won't name who, but someone involved with another science fiction organization came up to me afterwards and said, "You guys, how do you guys pull off such a great event every time? You know, we try to do this, and it's a disaster." And so I didn't reveal any of the secrets except where the money comes from. And he said he wasn't interested in getting into payola, so that wasn't going to work out anyway.
It was very impressive the way each one of the writers read from their own work. That's a wonderful idea for a ceremony. And actually to keep them each to about 2 minutes was a tremendous discipline on all parts.
Right now we're proving that we're living live in Jet City. So 22 years ago, Seattle was kind of different than it is now. I mean, we've lived here about 20 years, but what was it like in 1984, 86, 85?
Well, to tell you the truth, I follow the Terry Carr rule of conventions, which is never leave the hotel. So I don't know.
Was it this hotel?
I don't even know, because all hotel rooms are alike, and the way science fiction conventions have seemed to me is like the end of 2001, where you move from white room to white room, and at each move you've aged 22 years.
At least there's the bathroom.
Same people.
Yeah, that's true, and there's a good reason to get out and go. So you need to get out and get away from the convention for a little bit, and especially go to the Science Fiction Museum, which is here in Seattle, which we will promote also. Seattle is a hotbed of science fiction. That brings us into another bit of Norwescon lore, which is everyone has always tried to get some of the Seattle Microsoft people to come out to Norwescon, and we heard from Paul Allen this was his favorite convention. We don't know if he's actually been here, so we were allowed to promote the Science Fiction Museum about 4 years ago here at Norwescon to start off with. So we're just a hotbed of technical ingenuity and science fiction fans and readers and stuff like that.
And syzygy.
Yep, and that's why you keep coming here, as you know that's where the treasure trove is. Whereas you're down in Davis, which is agricultural and peaceful and good sandwich shops and baseball, right?
Yeah, well, it's an easy flight to Seattle, and so I like that. I like staying in the same time zone. Not much of a traveler these days, but for the sake of the science fiction community, I get around when I can, and it's always fun.
Tell us about your new book.
My new book is the third volume of a long novel called Science in the Capital, and I'm done with it now, in which we decarbonize the climate just in time to save ourselves from a mass extinction event. So, utopian science fiction in my usual style, and I'm glad I'm done.
And what's up next?
I'm going to write a science fiction novel about Galileo, and it's wonderful fun.
Not involving time travel?
Well, don't say that. There might be a little time travel.
Okay, and the Galileans.
Yes. A little...
the singing group or the...
Let's not... Since this might go on the website, we have to sequester, like carbon, underground, any information about the plot of the Galileans.
Well, we won't say another word about it, but it sounds intriguing.
Yeah, not quite time travel, but something cool.
What's coming up in fantasy and science fiction?
The usual short stories.
Yeah.
Some contributions from some people like Swanwick, Silverberg.
Michael Swanwick? You mean Robert Silverberg?
The one and only.
Very good.
Who else do we have coming soon?
What about Lucius movie reviews?
Plenty of them, and strangely enough, somewhat outspoken. Yeah.
Really?
Imagine that.
Lucius?
We also
Hard to
have
believe.
we have a novella from Lucius coming next month.
Ooh.
And an Albert Cowdery novella in August. A new story by someone named Ted Chiang in September.
Another
Seattle guy.
individual, yeah.
So, like I say, the usual,
There it
still
is.
going after 58 years.
Yeah, pretty amazing in the world. I mean, Amazing Stories only lasted, 73, 74 years? What was it?
Well, depending on how often it sputtered and restarted.
So you can't retire for another 20-some-odd years without...
Right.
So in the Seattle area, science fiction, Norwescon, are not totally connected to each other. There are other conventions, but this has been the premier convention, and we've watched it go back and forth between being kind of a media convention and a reader convention, and now it's sort of a gaming media reader convention. And it's a good convention because you can still buy books in the dealer's room, not just jewelry, not just swords. And what do you think is going to be the future of all this melding together of the media, the movie, the competition, the DVDs versus the books? Publishing industry is in flux right now. What's your feeling on all of this, and how is it going to pan out?
I don't know. I wish I knew how it was going to pan out. I do believe these things are going to settle down to the place where they all complement each other. For instance, someone was saying to me this morning that there are plenty of people who would love to get rid of their 600 back issues of FNSF if they could replace them with 5 DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
There are plenty of people who would do that. On the other hand, I was saying I often leave copies. On the way home, I'm going to leave a copy of the magazine in the airport in case anyone happens to pick it up. And you can't really do that with a DVD to the same effect.
It'd be quite a burdensome to read it all.
Right, unless they wanted something to use as a reflecting mirror.
That's right, jewelry.
So they both have their place. They both serve different functions. And ideally, we'll have a situation where people can subscribe to one way or the other or both. I think they're all going to play off of each other more than supplant one another.
Very good.
It's also a tremendous carbon sequestration method. Every one book has about a pound of carbon in it that once you put it in your library, you can wall your house. You can wallpaper your house like Greg has with books. It's expensive, but it's good insulation, and all that carbon is saved forever. So.
That's right.
Also, no matter if you have the Library of Congress coming out of your cell phone or not, you can still only read about 600 words a minute. So in terms of appropriate tech, a book is amazingly useful. It's about how much you can read during, say, a week.
So would you call yourself a lit conservative? Would you promote this particular format above all others?
Well, I like looking at a
Intellectual
page.
stimulation?
I like looking at a page more than looking at a screen, just because it's looking at a screen is like looking into the business end of a flashlight. I mean, how fun is that? You might as well have something more benign like paper. So.
And no interest in gaming yet or anything like that?
Gaming, yes. I like baseball. I like...
Okay, well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here at Norwescon. It's a pleasure to have you up in our neck of the woods.